Three dudes in between your buns. That's right. It's another Burgers with the Boys.
Yes, it is.
Ben, Brandon,
Yeah.
how you guys doing today?
Fantabulous. How are you doing, Matt?
I am present.
I'm doing just swimmingly. It's going to be kind of a shit on everything episode,
Yes.
as well as we're talking some Survivor and
These are exciting
and Ben
times.
Ben has an issue with a 101-year-old nun that apparently he needs to let out, but
It's a March
we'll get there.
tradition. Yes.
do we want to start Survivor so Brandon doesn't explode, because he's been very Brandon is the resident Survivor expert,
Brandon has been
self-proclaimed,
telling me that I need to sit down and watch Survivor since like the week we met.
Probably.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's usually the first topic of conversation that I usually come up with when I meet somebody. Hey, do you watch Survivor? All right.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
There it is.
Because it's really good.
I think that's how it went too.
I think the problem that Survivor faces is people just think that it's about surviving in the wilderness. They think it's like a Naked and Afraid type deal.
I wonder why they would think that. The title is just so clear.
Matthew, we're not going to get into this right now. I want Ben, because Ben just watched his very first season of Survivor.
I did.
And it happens to be my favorite season. And that's why I'm wearing this buff, because this is actually the merge buff from that season.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We
So
do that.
he just, any Survivor fans out there, he watched season 28, Cagayan. And we'll get into a little bit of spoilers, but the season's been out for like years now. So what are you doing here? But Ben, what did you think about Survivor?
I love it. I loved the show. I love the whole concept of it's like a big board game to me, kind of like with the physical challenges on the side. I love the strategy. I love the fact that you're like building alliances and that you have to be like, it's like playing Secret Hitler too. It's like you have to always be a double agent sometimes, and it's so cool. This particular season, I was not surprised at all at the fact that Tony won that season. I figured about a couple episodes in, that's who was going to win. But the entire season, I'm sitting there, I'm like, how in the hell are these people letting him manipulate them that badly? I mean, I guess like me sitting in my living room watching it is one thing. Whereas if you've been on this island only eating rice with these same people for like 20 something days, I guess I could see how you're starting to buy into it. But this dude, like, he had this game in his back pocket the whole time. Like every idol, he had it. I loved Tony's bag of tricks. I loved it. Like, he just pulls it. He just shakes his bag and everyone freaks the hell out. And
me included.
And what was freaking hilarious was that same episode where he brought it out. I think they all wanted to vote him out, but they all like got scared, or they peed down their leg and they didn't vote him out. And he didn't have anything in the bag.
Yeah. Well,
I like Tony though. He was.
Tony is legitimately my favorite Survivor player of all time.
I was a big Spencer fan that season.
Spencer is great. Don't get me wrong. Spencer's great. Tony's just a unicorn. 40 seasons of the show. There's nobody that has played a game like there's been a couple people that have played games similar to Tony, but he just has that motor where I've seen his post interviews. He literally does not sleep during his games. He sleeps never. And I don't know how he does it, but you can see the physical toll that it takes on him. And he just wears like all of his hard work. It's just absolutely incredible the way he plays. And I'd love to meet him because he just seems like I've heard some funny ass stories about Tony off the show. But yeah,
I loved Wu too. And when Wu chose to take Tony to the final with him, I'm like, it's over. Like, you just lost. Like, I respect his reasoning. I get it. I really do. But like, I kind of wanted Wu to win at the very end.
See, that I know we're kind of like not really including Matt in this conversation right now, but we'll get him in this conversation. That
Matt's
move,
building up his ammo right now.
Matt.
For those of you listening, you can see like the smirk on his face. He's getting ready.
Yeah, and that move is, in my opinion, the worst move in Survivor history because there's been a lot of bad moves. You'll get to know all the bad moves. I won't get into all that, but you'll watch more seasons and be like, wow, that was a terrible move. But Wu not taking Cass to the end is the worst move because it's a move where you literally take door A, you win the game. Take door B, you lose the game.
And it's $1 million decision.
Blank. Yep. Well, the second place still does get $100,000. So,
That's something.
Yeah, I mean, if he really thought that 900,000 was worth his pride, I can see Wu. I don't think Wu is. I mean, he's probably still upset with himself, but I think he's okay.
Woo-hoo.
Exactly.
Yikes.
All right, Matt. I want to hear, because you apparently have opinions on the show, and I am ready to debunk them. I'm going to let you speak and have the floor because I'm really curious what your thoughts are, and you haven't told me. So
we're going to hold tribal council on the show.
Yeah, let's hear it, Matt.
Oh, boy.
Survivor has gone on about 20 fucking seasons too much.
Yikes.
That's the main gripe with it. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm not saying there's not awesome moments and there's not Monopoly type maneuvers. It's the same. How many different combos of teams can they have? They did the different generations. I'm waiting for them to do like left-handed versus right-handers. We're on a new island now.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it too, dude.
I know you two would.
And then make the challenges like essays.
Oh my God, it'd be like, you have to write a 1-page paper with your right hand. Oh, this is going to be easy, but not you right-handers. You're doing it with your left. And then Jeff Probst is going to whack it into some coconut somewhere, and then that's going to be the whole show. It's just like, listen, it's not a bad show. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I am just simply saying that at this point, there is a very real, and Brandon's an example of this, cult-like following where no matter what they decide to pump out on the television, you're going to watch it, and it's going to be a good season. And like every show, there's going to be seasons that are better than others, but you'll never admit when the show is at its end. The show should have ended years ago.
Why should it have ended years ago? I'm curious.
It's the same thing. It's repetitive. Yes, it is.
No, it's not, Matthew.
It's two teams that are
not necessarily two teams. Sometimes there's three.
Oh my
God! You can go back and forth. You can Then why isn't the MLB canceled?
Wait,
why isn't the MLB canceled? It's the same thing. There's 30 teams.
MLB
because the MLB is a sport.
Survivor is basically a sport.
What about like Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah,
that would be a similar thing.
Jeopardy, you could also make the argument now that Alex Trebek is gone.
Jeopardy should end because Alex Trebek is gone.
Yes.
But on a different note, Wheel of Fortune is gross. Who watches Wheel of Fortune?
It's kind of fun.
Old people don't even watch Wheel of Fortune. It's like the middle of the road. Like
I play it on the Wii. Remember when they came out with that game?
But it's like
you're not
quite old, but you're not quite a full dad yet. You're like the middle of the road Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Who watches? That's a trash tier show.
Do you guys remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I think it's still on.
Or Weakest Link. Did you guys ever watch that show?
Yeah, I watched.
That lady was like insane. She's like, "You are the weakest link. Goodbye."
Wow, the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's like a mic drop every episode. Like,
oh my God. Have you heard of the? It's like the imposter game, but it's more of like an interview. I forget what it's called. Damn, it's pretty much like these 4 people. They all sit in a room. One of them is the imposter, and there's clues that are given on to them via like a TV screen, and they're all about the imposter's life, and they're like trivia questions, and every question they get right, they get more money. So like the imposter wants them to get the question right, but they don't want to flat out say like, "Oh, I know it's this answer," because then everyone else is going to know they're the imposter and then kick them out. Yeah. It's like this weird, convoluted show, and I'm doing a horrible job at describing it, but it's pretty good. That's all. My
kind of sounds like Survivor.
Yeah, but that show's also gonna get canceled. The show I'm describing isn't gonna survive much. Haha, it's not gonna survive.
But Survivor is back. What is it? Season 41 just was
Season
announced this
41
week.
probably going to be back
Wasn't
in the
it
fall.
supposed to end? Wasn't it only initially contracted for 12 seasons?
No.
Because I used to watch Survivor all the time. My family, we had like Survivor nights, and we would watch every season, and we'd sit down, we'd put like, we were all little, so like 8:00 was like a late bedtime for us, and we'd put a little blanket down, we'd have like chips and stuff. It was like a big deal for us. And then it got boring because it was the same show.
When did you stop watching? Just out of curiosity.
A few years ago. I don't know the season number. I'm not going to be able to tell you that.
Could you tell me?
Actually,
describe a character, and I'll be able to tell you.
Oh my God.
You are foolish to think I remember that. Let me try and Google it.
I'm just curious because the show, although the same type of concept, it's the same format, but they're different people. It's different characters, different situations. There's sometimes some twists involved. They change it up. It's not like it's the same thing every time. I'm going back to my baseball argument again. Why isn't baseball canceled? It's because people like watching the game. It is a game.
I'm not, and I already admitted that it's not a bad show. I understand that it's like, I'm not saying it's a bad show, but similar to a bad baseball team, most people don't want to watch a bad baseball team that routinely all the time does the same thing, which is lose. Hence, Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, right. Yeah. I got to go deal with that tumor in my heart.
But you're saying that like survive. I'll admit, some of these last few seasons haven't been the best. Except the season 40 was great, but like before that, 39 was one of the worst seasons. 38, not great. Like 39 was I shouldn't say it was one of the worst. It's only one of the worst because of a really, really bad incident that happened.
Is it the sexual assault incident?
Yeah, that was really messy, and like that dude was creepy and terrible. And
what happened with that? What happened with that? Because I don't know the full story.
I don't remember it exactly, but there was this one girl. I think her name was Kelly. I think her name's Kelly or Kim. I forgot. But she was feeling uncomfortable with the way this one guy, Dan, was like,
I remember hearing about this,
touching her or something. And eventually she got voted out. And then eventually his uncomfortableness continued into like production crew members. And like there's one episode you just see like a title card, or not a title card, like captions saying that Dan was pulled from the game because of another incident that happened. And then
yikes.
That was like the episode before.
Can we get a yikes
finale?
for the Survivor cast, guys?
Yeah, that was bad. That was like one of the darkest times of Survivor. And then
wow.
Yeah, but they have taken like full responsibility, and they're gonna be better about everything. It's just unfortunate to see that, but just people that are on the cast of 41, 42, don't do anything stupid.
Please don't.
Please don't. I like the show.
Because you're definitely listening.
And
whenever you guys show up to the island with your burgers with the boys hoodies, make sure you remember this particular podcast.
I want a shout out in one of the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, burger.
I'm not saying, oh my God, can you imagine? They just zoom in on some guy. These are exciting times, guys.
I will fly out to, if they say these are exciting times and give us a shout out, I'll fly to whatever island they want with a McDonald's cheeseburger. Whenever they want. That's all they have to do is light a fire on the previous episode, and I'll fly out there.
That's incredible.
I'll get them that McDouble.
Look, I am obviously speaking from personal preference because you make a point and like, yeah, people don't like baseball because they think it's boring and repetitive, and people don't like football because it's boring and repetitive, and sports and game shows. I get it. And I wouldn't necessarily describe Survivor as a game show, but for lack of a better word, I think it does fall into that category. I just think that at a point, every show runs its course. Because like at
I
one
would agree
point,
with that.
like Jeff Probst is going to leave the show. He's either going to die, get fired, or he's going to quit. One of the three is going to happen.
I think
And
he'll
at that
die
point,
before he quits. But
well, he makes so much money off that show.
that is
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
He's
And,
got a
like-
nice
like-
flow. Did you see his? I don't know if you saw the video of him saying that they're back in production. He's got like a nice little hat flow going. It's pretty nice.
Also,
Vivian,
shout out that we can get that back in production with everything that's happened in the world. Good for Good for
They've.
us.
I mean,
Texted me
especially
from-
they're going to. I mean, they've had the last 13 seasons in Fiji or something. So they're or not
Going
13.
back to
something
Fiji, I think.
yeah, they've had. They love Fiji because of the
That's
production
my
stuff.
point. They're running out of damn islands.
No, they don't run out of islands. They do the same shit. They do it on the
They
same
could take
island
it to
for, like, the last
Antarctica one year.
8
I think
seasons.
that'd be a great season.
I would.
You know,
I would
they
like to
thought of
put
that,
them, like,
but-
in a Walmart supercenter, like they just have to survive. Like, what is it? How many days is it?
Isn't it close to 40?
It's 39.
Oh my god.
39.
39
That's so
days,
dumb.
20 people, 1 survivor.
Vivian
Ba-boom.
texted me on 3 separate occasions in the last 2 minutes, just the simple word penis, and I don't know what she wants. Apparently penis.
Well, anyways,
Okay.
so the Antarctica thing, Ben.
Yes.
So they wouldn't do that because of like people like to
Dangerous.
look at people in bikinis or people like to look at
Mm.
abs on the beach. Beach
That's
just
true.
Also,
sells.
that makes sense.
Antarctica is not exactly a hospitable place.
Yeah.
It's
And
kind of
I don't
known
think Jeff
for
Probst
being,
wants to be in Antarctica. Well,
they
he,
would never the liability that they would have to go
Yeah.
through to put that
Yeah.
show in Antarctica. Like, it would be easier to stick them all on Fiji with no production crew, not even a game show, just throw people on Fiji and leave, than it would be to move them all to Antarctica for 39 days.
Yes.
I would do everything in my power to get vote. I would do anything to get voted off.
It's not worth $1 million.
Dude, it wouldn't be.
No, dude, you're
39
right.
days in Antarctica,
right.
you're dealing with penguins,
You're dead.
chopping it, you're nasties all day, dude.
Let's be
You're
real, you're
dead.
dead. You're dead.
You're dead.
you did.
Dead, you're dead, you're dead.
There is there is, however,
all
and this is
dead.
off topic. This is off
Yes.
topic a little bit, but it just reminded me. There's a marathon you can do. It's called the North Pole Marathon. It only gets sent out to there's
I
like
like
a
the
huge
Alaskan
lot of
pipeline.
support, and it's like 12 people get to do it a year, and you literally just do a marathon in the North Pole, like straight up, like in snow
Kinda
gear
cool.
and shit. Like, it's super fun to look at the pictures of afterwards because everyone's
Yeah.
face is just iced over, and it always takes them like 12 hours. It's really fun.
Okay.
All right. So, Ben, you're going to watch another season of Survivor.
I am.
Do you
That's
want me to tell you what season you should watch, or what is your watching plan if you have one?
I think that you should tell me which season to watch
Okay.
on Amazon Prime. Shout out Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. You know, there's a lot of good seasons on the Amazon Prime. I will give them that. I think a pretty good starting because they have, I think, seasons 12 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a good starting point might be 12.
Okay.
Either 12 or 13. Like 12 and 13 are really, really solid.
Mhm.
I think 12 is Panama, 13's Cook Islands, 14's Fiji, 15's China. Yeah, those 4 in a row are really. And then it builds up to season 16, which has some returning players that it kind of pays off that whole story arc to it.
Okay.
So, yeah, 12 is a pretty good season. There's a lot of characters you'll just kind of be like, I don't really like them, but they're kind of fun to watch type deal. But
Okay.
yeah. So start with 12.
Deal.
See where it goes.
Okay.
It's not as good as 28, but not really. There's only one season that's really as good as 28, and it's probably season 20. And that's because there's a lot of returning players and exciting.
I think that's the
times.
other. I think that's the other one that's on Netflix.
Yeah. Don't watch
Yeah.
that one because you will be not very confused, but you'll just kind of be like, okay.
That makes sense.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, start with that one. See where you go.
Okay. I can
And
do that.
We'll reconvene later and bother Matt about it.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Speaking of bothering people, I am proud to announce a new segment for Burgers with the Boys.
New segment.
A new segment. These are exciting times because new things are always exciting. We are proud to call this segment the Daily Dump. So basically, we're gonna all three of us are gonna take someone, basically either what someone did or what someone said. We're just gonna absolutely roast it.
So I'm going to start with one of my friends who
first.
keeps talking about Survivor.
Oh,
Yeah, let's go.
That was a joke. Ben. So Ben told us before the show on this subject. He has an issue with a 101-year-old nun.
I think she's 101. I believe.
We're just going to go with it.
Yeah,
we're not going to fact check it. We don't do that on this show. Fact checking doesn't happen. But I want to hear what your right is. Unless it's hang on. Unless it's none of my business.
Ooh.
I'm going to be here
so bad.
Literally all week.
Okay. Well, for those of you that are familiar with the NCAA tournament, or as we say in the Promised Land, March Madness, we didn't get it last year. Few years ago, Loyola Chicago made it all the way to the Final Four, and this one really old nun just took off, and her name was Sister Jean. And we could make the argument that the Loyola Chicago Ramblers should just be called the Loyola Chicago Sister Jeans, okay? Anyways, this lady, she became a national icon over the course of their run to the Final Four just because it was so improbable. They're back. They're back in epic fashion this year. Just knocked off the team that I picked to win the whole thing, the Illinois Fighting Illini, 1 seed. But it actually came out before that game that Sister Jean prayed for Loyola Chicago to beat Illinois. Now, I'm sure all three of us are guilty of this, as are many of the listeners and viewers, that we have all prayed for our teams to win a sporting event. And newsflash, probably 99% of the time, it never happens. Yeah, he does. He's full of shit. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna read you the excerpt from Sister Jean's prayer prior to their game with the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Let's hear it.
As we play the Fighting Illini, we ask for special help to overcome this team and get a great win. We hope to score early and make our opponents nervous. We have a great opportunity to convert rebounds, as this team makes about 50% of layups and 30% of its three-pointers. Our defense can take care of that. Do you guys want to know something really scary?
What God is she praying to? First of all, it sounds like she's trying to talk.
It sounds like she's yeah, dude.
We're gonna score and make them nervous, or it doesn't sound like this is a nun.
No,
it sounds like
dude,
she's speaking to the old gods.
I think Sister Jean is losing it. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I love Sister Jean, but
Sister Jean.
I'm tired of her ruining my bracket every year.
I don't know the rules of being a nun. I don't know the rules of being a nun, but is that like a wasted prayer? Can you do that? Can you go do they just be like, you know what, guys, I'm a nun. I'm going to reach into my prayer bag, pull one out for this basketball team. But sister, it
was on CBS.
There's starving people and people that need food and water. It's like, yeah, guys, this basketball team is where the Lord's needed.
March Madness.
I can confidently tell you I have not watched a single game of March Madness in my entire life. In my personal opinion,
can I tell you something? What's really scary about this? She stated in her excerpt that this team, aka Illinois, makes 30% of its three-pointers. In the game in which Loyola Chicago beat Illinois only shot 29% from three-point land.
Wow.
Isn't that weird, though? How weird shit like that happens.
Kind of weird.
How come when I ask for the Cubs
at a point
to win, I don't get it?
Hey, they won in 2016.
I got it one time. That's the one time I've ever gotten it, and I will take that for every day of the bank, or every day to the bank.
See you in another 100 years, Benji.
Actually, get it right. It's 103. We're 5 years into this now.
Whoopsie. My bad.
You forgot the 3 extra years.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Pirates are going on. God, dude, I don't want to do quick math. 79 was their last World Series, so we're stretching it out quite a bit. Hell, dude, it was 21 years before we even hit the playoffs again.
Hey, the Twins have a franchise sports record of consecutive playoff losses, so we have that going for us.
I think that at this point, if Sister Jean went on Survivor, she would win.
Sister Jean on Survivor, how would she fare? She just
Dude,
goes to the
that's a
voting
season
booth.
I would watch. Dude, can you imagine?
Sister Jean on Survivor, dude.
Maybe she's already there. She's out there filming 41.
Dude, can you just imagine, like, two teams. We're in Fiji. Reverends versus the nuns.
Oh, my God.
Survivor. And then they're all just going to be like, ooh, I'm going to pray for you to win. No, I'm going to pray for you to win. No, I want to pray for you to win.
And then you can get one asshole out there like, I'm going to pray for myself to win. And then he's going to win.
That's the guy that's going to win because he has one
Yeah.
extra prayer. He has one extra prayer on his side.
That's how March Madness works.
Yep. That's
Yep.
Big man's going to look down and just go, you know what? He beat the system.
Anyways, in all seriousness, I love Sister Jean. I love that she's making a small school up in Chicago, like putting them on the map, but I'm kind of upset that she ruined my bracket again. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Thanks, I filled out one March Madness bracket. I didn't know any of the teams. I didn't watch the tournament. I couldn't tell you how I did, but I like to believe that I won, you know?
You had the only perfect bracket that year.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like to believe that. I literally filled it out. I don't know what happened to it. I didn't watch one game. And I don't remember who I picked to win, but I like to believe that I won.
That's fair.
all right.
Has there ever been a perfect bracket? There's never been a perfect bracket, right? I know there was like a little
happened, but it's been like it's very, very scarce.
I know that like this little kid a few years ago, well, probably more than a few years ago at this point, but like this little kid with autism, he was a numbers guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like Rain Man with numbers, and he like crunched all these, and he had like everything perfect with the exception of like the final two. He just missed who won the tournament. And it was like this big deal. Everyone was freaking out, and like, cause he was like this 8-year-old kid, and he's just like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah." All right, who you guys taking the dump on this week?
Yeah, go ahead.
Billy Joel, dude.
What's wrong with Billy Joel, man?
Tell you what's wrong with Billy Joel. Are you guys familiar with the song Piano Man?
Love Piano Man.
Yeah.
You do love Piano Man?
It's a great song.
Okay. Yeah, it's a song titled Piano Man.
Yeah.
For a song titled Piano Man, the guy playing the harmonica deserves all the damn credit in that song. Listen to it. The harmonica's the best part. The Piano Man part gets in the way of the harmonica.
I
that's
disagree.
a very small gripe.
I disagree. I think the part on the piano where he goes dun 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 dun. I think that's the best part. I mean, you can argue with me, but that's just an opinion.
Look, it is no.
You don't even like music, so just saying.
Well, that's what I can say. There's no arguing. I don't like music. I don't know music. Music is not my thing. I couldn't name one popular song from literally any year by name.
We know this.
I just this is a
future segment.
Oh my god! So Brandon and I play this game where Brandon's a big music guy, and he plays songs, and they're all popular. They're all well known. Anybody who has ears would be able to name these. I literally find music the most annoying thing in the world. I don't like it. I don't listen to it. I drive in complete silence. Like it's not my thing.
That's
I think it's so weird. I think it's so irritating. And so we play this game where he plays these popular songs that everybody knows, and I know none of them, and it brings him a lot of joy. To when he plays like a Backstreet Boys song, and he has to tell me, "How do you not know this? It's the Backstreet Boys." And I'm like, really? I honestly didn't. Like, I don't know these things. There was one, and I don't remember which song it was, but there was one. It was like this really popular song by a very popular band. Like it's a classic song. Everybody knows it. He played it for me, and I didn't get it, and he was shocked. And I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. It was one we were playing when I was at college. If you remember,
it's all of them.
I know it's all of them, but there was one in particular.
I'm sure there was.
It was like probably like "Don't Stop Believing" or something.
It might have
Not
been Journey. That's possibly it. But
It was something popular.
what else do you have like against Billy Joel besides the?
Is
Oh,
it
that's
just
it.
Piano Man?
Oh, just the harmonica.
Oh, that and he
vision?
kind of looks like he kind of looks like a testicle now.
All right.
It's kind of like the same reason. Like, I don't like Ben Roethlisberger. A lot of people don't like Ben Roethlisberger because, like, they think he's grumpy. They think that he has a bad attitude. He's not good for the Steelers anymore. Some people don't like him because, you know, he was accused of sexual assault / rape a few years ago. You know, some people are like, oh, they believe that he did it. You know, whatever your opinions on that, I don't care. I don't like him because I think I don't like him because I think he looks like a cigarette. I think Ben Roethlisberger looks like a used cigarette. I do not like his face. I think he has a gross face. He gained some weight. He grew a beard, and he straight up looks like
the
an
off season, dude. He just like sits and eats wings and drinks beer in the off season, and then the Steelers wonder why his arm is shot by week 4.
But like, retire then, because you look like a homeless man that found a Steelers jersey that's just somehow wandered into the stadium. Like that, it's
That's what Big Ben looks like.
that looks satanic. Whatever you just drew looks satanic.
That looks
know,
like
that was
something
kinda
from
just
those horror movies where
scribbling.
the kid is like possessed and he's
Yeah. No, picture like an old, gross woman. Now picture her disgusting yellow fingernails gripping a cigarette for dear life as it shakes. As it approaches her mouth. She takes one big inhale and then flicks it blatantly into like the empty fast food container on the side. That's what I think Ben Roethlisberger looks like. And I do not like the Steelers. Partially, I don't like him because the fans are annoying, but it is also partially because Ben Roethlisberger has a dumb face.
We're changing Matt's daily dump from this week from Billy Joel to Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
because that was great.
Billy and Ben. Oh my god.
What do you got, Brandon?
I got mine, and it took me a while to think of mine, but then it just came to me. Joss Whedon can fuck off.
Yeah, dude.
The absolute destruction of the Justice League movie that we got in 2017, it's absolutely atrocious.
You're only just now, though, telling him to screw off?
I'm only telling him just now because the Snyder Cut was released and how much better it was.
Everyone knew it was going to be better.
We didn't know how much, like, I know you haven't seen it. I don't know if Ben's seen it.
Not yet.
But I'm not going to spoil anything. But just the way that they changed the ending and everything about it, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the ending is just so much better than whatever the heck we got in 2017.
I never saw Joss Whedon's Justice League in 2017, and I'm just
honestly,
I'm just gonna watch the Snyder Cut.
Do it.
Basically, like, imagine like if somebody took like the first Avengers movie, like
which is Joss Whedon's only good movie, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm talking like the very first Avengers movie. So there's like the dinky, like, I don't want to say dinky costumes, but like not the like, but when you first see Cap in his costume versus when you see him like in, you know, Civil War, Age of all, you know, the future ones. It kind of is like that, but dumbed down a lot. Like the dialogue's crap. The costumes look stupid. Costumes look pretty much the same in the Snyder Cut one. It's just like because the writing is so much better in the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
The costumes don't feel as ridiculous. Like when
valid.
Ben Affleck's standing there in a Batman suit and he gives off the dumbest lines ever written in Hollywood script, you're very aware that like that's Ben Affleck in a Batman suit. You're not thinking that's Batman.
That's Bruce Wayne.
You really this much. There's a petition.
I was just about to ask if there was one.
So yes, so the only reason we got the Snyder Cut, Warner Brothers said no. HBO Max is they're the ones that said yes. They're the ones that were able to get this on the ground so we could see it. And, you know, it took years. And Warner Brothers did an interview where they already said they have no plans to continue with Snyder's version of how the DC universe should go. I love the DC superheroes, and they're so dumb. They're chasing Marvel. DC's trying to chase Marvel, and they're trying to copy the Marvel movies, like, atmosphere, like, where they're funny, but they're serious. Like, they need to just, the absolutely only two movies that DC has ever released outside of Christian Bale's Batman movies, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. That one was very good. Everyone loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was crazy good, but it was good. Everyone loved it. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League. And if you notice, the only two things about those two movies, they're not what Marvel's doing. They're very serious. Yeah. They're very, like, they have funny moments in them, and that's going to happen in every movie, but, like, they're not at all what Marvel's doing, and they need to stick to that. And
that's the difference in the brands, too. Like, Marvel just does the way that they do those movies better. Trying to copy that is stupid.
Well, and if you remember when Avengers came out, everyone, the biggest complaint, Marvel had to set that standard. Because if you remember think about the Hulk movie, like the Incredible Hulk, the first one.
Yeah.
No one liked it.
No.
Because it was way too serious.
Exactly.
It was way too, it just wasn't, technology at the time, I guess, wasn't as good to make the Hulk what it needed to be. Mm-hmm. Iron Man 3 wasn't perceived very well.
I love that movie.
A lot of the early Marvel movies, including the first Avengers movie, were shit on partially because people thought they weren't serious enough. They were too funny, and they had to set the standard of these are how our movies are going to be. You might as well just start liking it. And then eventually people started liking it. Now
I think the greatest example of what you're saying too is the Thor trilogy. Like Thor 1 was Ragnarok beat the living shit out of the Dark World. Both of those movies.
Oh my god.
Ragnarok is top.
Dark World was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I think that's my second.
I wouldn't say
least favorite.
I wouldn't say really bad. It's definitely bottom of the barrel. I would have to rank them, but I'd probably agree with you. I mean, it's bottom.
The only one lower for me is Incredible Hulk.
Same.
Incredible Hulk is unwatched. I can't watch that movie.
I don't watch it. I don't even canonize it in my mind.
It's bad.
Yeah. But I think what also helps.
I think it's got some cool scenes in it, though.
What? Hulk?
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the problem.
We need Abomination back.
The idea is there, and they obviously don't have the rights to everything. I don't think Marvel legally can make a Hulk movie.
No, I don't think they can.
Because I've looked into it. They're able to make a Hulk movie, but they have to they can't title it certain things, and there's certain things they have to include and certain things they can't include. It's kind of like how they used to Marvel used to have to do Spider-Man, where every single Spider-Man movie had to part of the contract was every Spider-Man movie had to include his origin. Mm-hmm. That's why we always got that first movie with Uncle Ben and stuff. It's kind of like that, but it's some weird shit.
Yeah.
It's got good scenes though. One of my favorites is when he jumps out of the college, they smoke grenade him. He jumps out of this bridge in this college and just beats the shit out of people.
There's good scenes in the movie. It just does.
The movie itself is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I mean, that one funny part in the movie is when the human form of Abomination goes up to Hulk, and then he's like, "Remember me?" And then he's like, agility and adjusting, and then a couple of minutes later, he goes up to him. He's like, "You're not that tough," and then Hulk just kicks him, and then he basically dies.
That is funny.
That's a really good scene.
I don't like how they made Abomination look.
Yeah.
While we're on that topic, Abomination looks bad.
Yeah. He needs some justice done.
Yeah.
Justice.
I wish they'd bring him back, but again, there's all those rules. I don't know what they have to include.
Well, I think we're also at that point. It would be, if he is going to come back, I think it would be in the She-Hulk series on Disney Plus, just because I'm pretty sure Mark Ruffalo is done. Mm-hmm. Unless he did a cameo, kind of like our Robert Downey Jr. in Homecoming.
Right.
Oh yeah, the whole end up doing shit like that, where they're not gonna have any movies focused around them anymore. It'll be just name dropping, and they'll get him because he's the science guy, like it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to lose.
Bruce Banner,
And they've told this Hulk story over the course of all these movies too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get a Hulk movie, certainly not a Hulk origin movie.
Right.
Because like we've already heard so much about it. At this point, it would be so unnecessary to backtrack and do that.
Yeah.
But like they're gonna have to do something, and this is partially why they're doing the Fantastic Four, because they got rid of the two only people that can make all the technology for the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like they got rid of Robert, they got rid of Tony Stark, and they got rid of Bruce Banner. And so who do they need? They're going to need Reed Richards, who is smarter than both of them. So
yeah,
it'll be good. I can't wait for that movie.
It's going to be very good.
I hope they actually. Well,
long story short, Joss Whedon can take a dump.
We were taking a dump on Joss Whedon. My bad.
Screw you.
Yeah.
But
if anyone hasn't seen the Snyder Cut, go watch it. It's really good.
Brought that up. Did you see the thing about how the Russo brothers said that they have a 4-hour cut of Endgame?
6 hour.
6 hours of Endgame.
Release it.
They have a 6 hour director's cut of Endgame, and they said that if the fan pull is strong enough, they would consider releasing it. Although,
what'd you do for 6 hours?
What's in there though?
2 hours of that better be that battle.
What else? Like we've seen all the deleted scenes. Like what else? What else is it gonna be?
I feel like I'd want to watch it just to know what else is in it. Like,
I mean, I would definitely watch it. I would watch it because, like, those couple extra lines of dialogue, those deleted scenes, it would be nice to see them, like, with the movie, see them in one coherent thing. I just don't think I'd pay money for it.
I think the one gripe of the Snyder Cut is that it was too long. I think that could have been a 3-hour movie. Now, Snyder has a hard-on for slow motion shots. So if he cuts down the slow motion shots like by 50%, it might be only a 3-hour movie. But if that's a 3-hour movie, I would have already watched it. But every time I'm like, okay, I kind of want to rewatch it.
There's a correct answer. There's a correct answer to the question I'm about to ask, which is not the QTMBA. This is just a normal question.
Okay.
Fair enough.
There is a movie where there is a 4.5 hour cut of the movie. What movie would you love to see that's 4.5 hours of just director's cut joy?
Any movie?
There is a specific movie that is 4.5 hours, director's cut.
Oh, snap. I don't know then.
Yo, you know.
I know.
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith, fun fact, could have had an R rating because the Order 66 scene alone was going to be, I think it was like 45 minutes long. And it had it had some crazy gruesome scenes in it. Like, when Anakin killed all the kids, though that was really in the movie. That was like a legitimate scene in the movie, him just slaughtering.
No.
And like if you've ever played the PS2 Star Wars Revenge of the Sith video game. Do we know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a canon video game, but it does include the cutscenes in the video game are deleted scenes from Revenge of the Sith. Since they weren't in the movie, they're not canon, so the video game could use it. And dude,
cool.
there's a whole level in that game where you get to just raid the Jedi Temple library and you're just destroying these holocrons and all of these just Jedi, and you're mowing down people and you like decapitate the librarian. It's like the coolest thing in the world. And dude, just
if it is not in the system, it does not exist. And then you just
no, dude, that lady gets shit on in that game. Dude. Also,
Madame Jocasta.
Yeah, Madame Jocasta, dude. That noodle-haired bitch.
Dude, just like Anakin goes up to her and be like, I heard you told my old master that
does
you
exist.
yeah. The archives are incomplete. Say it. And she goes, no. And then gone.
It's like,
Yikes.
hey, bitch, I heard you told old Obi-Wan, my dude. Heard you told him Kamino's not real. It's weird. Look at all these clones that are about to blow your ass up. How silly do you feel now?
Oh yeah, then she gets blasted by the
Stupid.
clones. Yeah, that's poetic, right?
No.
It's poetic, but I know in the video, I don't know. She's just Madame DeCosta, dude. She's a bitch. In Attack of the Clones, she's just an asshole.
We'll have to get on to Star Wars on a different show.
I really don't want to get on to Star Wars because I love
for
it.
the sake of time, we should move into the question that must be answered.
First of all, I will decide when the QTMBA gets asked, not you, okay? But coincidentally, it's time for the QTMBA. That is the question that must be answered, ladies and gentlemen. That is when I present Brandon and Ben with a question that, as the name suggests, they must answer. They cannot get out of it. They must provide an answer before this podcast can end.
That's true.
Your question today is you are given a briefcase of unlimited money, but for the sake of the argument, we're going to say $100 million. You are handed a briefcase. Okay. You can have every last dime in that briefcase. All you have to do is drink all of the water in an above-ground swimming pool with a straw. Now, here's the caveat to that. You have approximately 1 calendar year. The water does not evaporate. I know this is not how nature works, but in this particular instance, the water does not evaporate. It stays there.
It's indoors, because then
an indoor above ground pool. You have to drink it. You have 1 calendar year. How much water in an above ground swimming pool do you think you can suck down with a straw? Do you think you could?
I have a few questions.
Okay.
Have people swam in it?
Yes, it is a used swimming pool.
Is it chlorine or is it just regular hose water that someone put in there?
For the internal organs, I'm gonna give you just hose water.
Okay.
It's a full scale swimming pool. It has been used. It's about to be closed down for the winter. But instead of paying someone to do it, they're going to pay you $100 million to just drink that water because this particular family wants to conserve. In order to get your money, you have to drink every last drop that is in that swimming pool. You have 1 calendar year to do it. Do you think you could?
I think I could.
I think
there's a Band-Aid in it. I'm just going to tell you there's a Band-Aid in it.
You don't have to drink the Band-Aid.
No, but it's just like
the
at some
point.
Go
up the straw.
No, but the stuff on the Band-Aid.
Have you seen that comedian that talks about the Band-Aid in the pool? Sebastian something?
Maybe, but we're talking about the QTMBA right now.
I'm just curious if you heard. I'm saying yes,
I had
I
a
could
whole
do it.
calendar year to do it, yes.
Whole calendar year?
No, you couldn't do.
How many gallons of water is that? That's like, you could drink a gallon a day, probably. I don't know. Google how many gallons it is. I'm pretty sure I can do it
right now.
All right. You're supposed to drink quite a bit of water.
Okay. It's going to approximately have 8,602 gallons of water in an above-ground swimming pool.
No, I couldn't.
8,602?
8,602.
Divided by 365. That'd be 23.5 gallons a day.
Never mind, I couldn't do it.
I don't even know if that's actually humanly possible. I think you could. I think you would die.
I think you would drown yourself.
All right. How many gallons do you realistically think you could get through? Now, here's what I'll tell you. Okay, here's actually what I'm going to change the question to because I just did a little bit of bippity boop and research over here.
Okay.
Deal.
The average human drinks approximately a half gallon of water per day.
Okay.
8 cups to a half gallon of water per day, which means they roughly consume 182.5 gallons of water per year. Out of how much now, if you only had to drink this water, you didn't have to go to work, you didn't have to see family. The only thing you focused on from sun up to sundown was drinking water out of this swimming pool. how much of that 8,000 gallons do you realistically think you could get done in a year? See, sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they make you think.
300.
Let's see.
So you're nearly doubling.
Yep.
I think because you're saying the average human, but this would be the full thing that I'm doing. I probably have Netflix on in the background, and I'm just reclining in my chair, drinking, and going to the bathroom. That's probably all I'm going to do. I could probably drink 2 gallons a day.
Yeah.
I could probably get
That's why
almost
I'm going double.
Yeah, I could probably get 730.
Okay. What if I told you that because you're going to be so well hydrated, you have to piss in the pool?
Done. It's not worth.
You wouldn't drink your own pee?
Nope.
I would eat a hobo's
No.
shit for $100 million.
Well,
I
I
wouldn't
still
even
have to
let
drink
it,
the whole thing.
I wouldn't
be
even
possible.
let it touch the ground, dude. You know the amount of horrible things I would do for $100? If you put $100 million in front of me, dude, I'd stick my mouth under his butt like a freaking frozen yogurt machine.
So, is the question now? Would you just only drink the water, like that whole year? You're not doing.
I'm gonna be
else?
honest. I'm gonna be honest, dude. This has gotten.
This is a lot.
I had the question, then we started doing math, then we started. We talked a hobo, and I don't know. A lot of things are happening.
Oh my God.
Look, I will admit it's not my best QTMBA. It is not my best one.
No. It's all right.
It made me think.
It's top 2.
Okay.
It's top 2.
Would you rather? I mean, it is top 2. I could give you another one if you guys really wanted.
Redeem yourself. Is it quick?
If you got a quick one, just quick. Yeah.
We'll save it. We'll save it
for next week.
What a tease.
Gotta end with a cliffhanger.
I suppose.
Is that it, boys? We wrapping up?
We're wrapping up.
All right, guys. That was Burgers with the Boys. A lot happened. A lot was said. I'm not really sure what happened and what went down, to be honest. But like, comment, share, subscribe. However you're listening or watching, make sure you share it with friends because remember, burgers are better with the boys. We will see you guys next week. Have a great day, evening, whenever you're listening. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.